You know what time it is. It is time for the first weekly recap. Machine Gunner is in the lead. He's got a nice 2 game lead over Boys in the Dugout. Team Loman rolling in at third, and the Polar Bear Express himself, Tony Marinello, in fourth place. I happen to be tied with him. I guess he's got a tiebreaker of some nature. Hackensack Bulls, Mr. Soto Dolo and Mookie's Way rounding out the next four. Still plenty of time in the season to make your comeback at the bottom here, guys. Tommy Chong surgery, hit a bomb, Dat Texas boy, now named 15-day bitch list. All right. We'll start with the matchup of the week. Dat Texas boy versus Mr. Soto Dolo. You might be asking yourself, this is the matchup of the week? 6-2 game. But look at the stats. This was a close one. Low ERAs on both teams. Whips are super low. 6 quality starts from each team. We only get 7 per week. Both of you almost maxed out on quality starts. Tough tie there for both teams. 50 to 49 Ks. The hitting stats were solid. Nice stolen base total. These stats aren't going to necessarily win you weeks in the offensive category every time, but these pitching categories are super great. Now, what happened? Well, that Texas boy had the player of the week, and that player is Aaron Nola. Look at these stats. 2 starts, quality starts, both of them, 16 Ks and 15.1 innings. 15.3 to be exact, because there's no such thing as 0.1 innings. It's a third of an inning. But I know what they're trying to do there. 1.76 ERA, 0.65 whip. He also got strong performances from Kirby, Kikuchi, who I wanted to pick up, and I just didn't pull the trigger. Nice move. Jordan Montgomery paying off dividends. Who are some of the highlights for Mr. Soto Dolo? Well, Mr. Soto, 2 home runs, 423 OBP naturally. Didn't get much out of Matt Olson this week. Needs some more home runs coming out of him soon. Pitching wise, obviously he had a great pitching week. Lodolo, solid. Eflin, super solid. Not an earned run given up in 12. The letdown of the week in this game goes to the loser, and the letdown was Alzolay. Had Alzolay actually gone out and done his job and not blown 2 saves, you would have won the ERA category. It would have been in the 1.5s if you take those 3 earned runs away and his 2 innings away. But Alzolay, he cost you, and that sucks for you because I thought he was the closer. And I picked up Hector Neris just because I don't know what to think of that closer situation now. But he would have been in my lineup, so I can't blame you. Got to start closers no matter what. You need the saves. But that's the rundown of the matchup of the week. Like I said, not going in too much depth. Just want to go over what actually happened and over a couple of players that won it or lost it for you. Great job from both you guys this week. That Texas boy, 11th place after this week. I think you're coming back strong, Mr. Soto Dolo. It's fine. You're fine. Both these teams are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and that's the matchup of the week. Let's move on to the next matchup. It's the most dominant performance of the week. Boys in the Dugout over 15-day bitch list, formerly known as Honey Nut Cheerios. This may have been the most dominant performance as far as record is concerned, 7-3, but this was a close one. Close in the Ks, quality starts, saves. OBPs were both in the general area. This could have gone either way, but Boys in the Dugout, they take it down, and they're in second place now because of it. 15-day bitch list, nothing to be ashamed of. You're 10-29 right now, but it's not because you're playing badly. Now, we won't dive too deep into the numbers, but we're going to call out some player of the week action, which Trey Turner helped you big time. Those 10 runs scored were huge to get into that 47-run total there. He stole you a base, hit a home run, but got on base at a 481 clip. He's your player of the week. As far as 15-day bitch list, I'm got to give it to Jackson Chourio. 2 home runs, 2 stolen bases. Sure, that's only a 292 OBP, but I love the stolen base home run combination from him. He definitely helped you out. We could have gone with Jordan Westburg here too. 500 OBP. Ought to probably go to Westburg, but I just love Churio's potential and the fact that you drafted him as early as you did, and it's paying off. You didn't take him too early, but you got him ahead of all the rest of us, and I'm enjoying watching him play. The letdown of the week player has to go to the team that lost. You already know who it is. It's Garrett Crochet. 7 earned in 3 innings, gave up 7 base runners. If you actually somehow didn't start Crochet this week, which I think we all would have, I think most teams in the league, he's 55% owned. I don't think ESPN leagues actually track that very well. I mean, it's not a good representation of what the actual ownership is of a player. But Crochet, I'd own him if he was a free agent, and I would have started him. Had you managed to not start him this week, or let's say he was a Sunday starter and you already had the lead and didn't need his stats, you would have had a 2.48 ERA winning that category and a 1.17 whip. So you were not that far off. One starting pitcher away from going 5-5 this week. So although it was the most dominant performance being 7-3, this was a well played game by both teams. And hang in there, 15-day bitch list. I promise you, your team's good enough to do the job. Boys in the dugout, keep up the good work. With that said, let's move on to the next matchup. In what could be a co-matchup of the week, we have a real tight one here with Mookie's Way versus Tommy Chong Surgery, which Tommy Chong actually owns Mookie, so that's got to be weird for Mookie's Way. Now, this was as tight as it gets. Look at these stats. 4.68 versus a 4.71 ERA. They were .003 off in whip. Quality starts close, stolen bases close, even the runs and home runs were close. Who was the player most responsible for Mookie's Way ending in a tie instead of a loss? We could say Alec Baum. The 2 home runs, 8 RBI, 500 OBP were helpful, but they didn't get him there in those categories, which is why I'm going with Craig Kimbrell. He won you the saves category. He got 2 saves this week, and they were perfect. He helped you win ERA and almost brought you back in whip. 3 Ks in 3 innings, not a single runner given up, not blowing a save. He was your best player. Now, who was Tommy Chong's best player? I'm going to have to go with a hitter, and it's Brian De La Cruz. If you hit 3 home runs in a week, you're going to be a candidate. 8 RBI, even stole a base. This guy's only, 18% owned? Yeah, great pickup. He's your player of the week, in my opinion. The letdowns of the week, this one's going to be a little interesting. Travis d'Arnaud is my letdown of the week. Why, you say? He only had 2 at-bats. This is just an interesting take because I almost picked him up. Now, I didn't almost pick him up before his big game, but this guy hit 3 home runs in one game and then a home run the very next game in what looks like a pinch hit appearance. If you would have had him already on your team, you're winning that category. Now, I'm not saying you should have. I'm just saying that just an interesting take on the letdown of the week and to show off that d'Arnaud was absolutely dominant in the few at-bats that he had and could have made a huge difference on the home run category there. It's okay. You have him now. I really almost picked him up because I think the Braves are going to use him more as a DH than they would have, showing this kind of pop even when Sean Murphy gets back. I'm sure you're hoping Sean Murphy doesn't come back with that kind of production. Let you off the hook, or we'll let Stanton off the hook off let down the week. There's some other players that all of us could every week deal with. Yeah, we're all going to have letdowns every week. So that was just a funny idea for that one. And the letdown of the week here for Mr. Tommy Chong Surgery, it's pretty bad, and it's getting worse. It's Jackson Holliday. He went 0 for 10. This man is not having a good start to the Major League career, and this has happened to other Major Leaguers. Cal Ripken had a terrible start to his career, just to bring up another old Oriole. But this man is 1 for 30 to start his Major League career. And that 0 for 10 for you this week was not helpful at all. Obviously, I don't think you're dropping him, but he might be getting started over by somebody else in the near future. Please drop him. I'll pick him up, but he has not been helpful at all to your team. Might be part of the reason why you didn't take the win, but a 5-5 performance against each other. You guys are both great teams, and it's this was a good one. This was a great matchup. I'm sure you guys were biting your nails down to the end. Let's find another 5-5 game, and we've got one. It's the Polar Bear Express, 4-time champion. I said 3-time in the draft recap video. Sorry about that, Tony. I guess I just missed being tied with you for most championships. A humble brag there. Versus the Hackensack Bulls. We had quite the funky matchup here. Everything was all over the place. Not really super close in any particular category, but each team managed to steal their share of categories. Tony with the runs, grabbing that RBI category barely, dominating the OBP, even with not a very high OBP, no offense. This was just a very weird matchup. Tony didn't really have a chance in the ERA department. Whip wasn't too easy to win either. And getting 4 saves is not easy as well. But somehow you pulled out the quality starts. Who knows? Let's look into it. You pull out the quality starts from Morton, Sale, Severino, and Cease. And somehow Hackensack doesn't manage to keep up, even with that 2.06 ERA. Only got a quality start from Lynn and from Bello. Just a very strange matchup. As far as player of the weeks are concerned, I got to give it to Adolis Garcia for Tony. 2 home runs, those 7 RBI won you the category. If you don't get those from him, you're down 6-4. Sure, Adolis didn't get on base a bunch, but those 2 home runs and 7 RBI, they fueled your offense for sure. Player of the week for the Hackensack Bulls, got to go Dalton Varsho. 3 home runs, 6 RBI, a stolen base, 400 OBP. Well done, sir. Dalton Varsho, even without the catcher eligibility this year, providing some stats for you. 5 home runs already this year. Nice pickup. You could have gone Schwarber here with the player of the week, but Varsho just had that much better of a week. Now, Tony, your letdown of the week didn't exactly cost you because you still wouldn't have won ERA and still wouldn't have won WHIP. But Glasnow, 6 earned and 10 runners given up. Now, he's been amazing so far. That was not amazing. Now, he recovered well, but looks like you didn't start him. I'm sure you had your reasons. Maybe he had his start moved up. You already had 7 starts go. But he's back in a big way, so no need to worry about him. But he definitely was your letdown of the week. And the letdown of the week for the Hackensack Bulls, anytime you see someone go 0 for 17, it's bad. Now, Nolan Gorman, he was my player to watch out for in the draft recap for your team. And I still believe that, but it's not going well. He at least has 3 home runs at the moment, but that 0 for 17, that's scary. If you want to trade him, send him my way, please. But this was just a strange matchup. Could have gone either way for either team. I don't know even what to think about how I would have done against y'all. 5-5. Pack it up and move on to the next week. Let's move to the next matchup. Machine Gunner versus Team Lohman. Looks like a dominant performance from Machine Gunner, and it was. 48 RBI, very nice. 45 runs, 10 bombs, 386 OBP, 47 Ks, 4 saves, 1.35 ERA, 0.86 whip. This was a well-played game by Machine Gunner, and he's showing why he's in first place right now. But Team Lohman showed why he's in third as well. These were solid stats. Dominated the stolen base category. Managed to score 48 runs himself. 10 home runs. This was a better game than it looked like, and Lohman could have ended up with a better record against another team. Machine Gunner was just doing his thing, and he's doing it with his player of the week, Gunnar Henderson. 3 bombs, 448 OBP, 5 RBI, 5 runs scored. You gotta love Gunnar right now. This guy is as good as it gets in the league. 6 home runs so far this year, 4 stolen bases. I considered drafting him instead of Ellie in the third, but I am loving my Ellie pick. But we're not talking about me right now. Ozuna continues to mash as well, and William Contreras, he's been a stud this year too. Uh, Watch out for this team the rest of the year. We've been watching them dominate so far this year. As far as Team Loman's concerned, your best player was CJ Abrams. 3 home runs out of the guy and a stolen base. You've got to be loving that pop. I mean, I know you were expecting to get a few home runs out of him, but 15 or so. He's already almost halfway to a projected home run total. He's still stealing the bases. He was just a great pick for you, and he's playing well. Now, considering that we don't have a tie here, and Machine Gunner won, we're just going to go with a letdown of the week for you, Team Loman. And your letdown of the week was Cole Reagans. And I love Cole Reagans. You heard me in the draft recap video. He's my guy. I watched the highlights, or the lowlights, if you will, of this. He got singled to death. The Orioles, I believe, is who he played. Yeah, they shortened the bat up and just kept getting singles. Not a home run given up. He was throwing 99 miles an hour in the game, but he just did not have his best stuff apparently. And that's your letdown of the week. If you're really mad at him, I'm willing to trade for this guy. You know I am. So this was clearly going to be Machine Gunner's game, but still a well-played game by you, Team Loman. We'll be looking out for both of you top 3 teams here. And on to my matchup. I had to go up against Hit a Bomb, and it was not an easy week for me. I managed to squeak out the victory, but this felt more like a tie in the end. We were super close in the K category. That sickens me. Quality starts tied. I never had a chance in ERA or WHIP, but that K's category hurt. Managed to hang in the quality starts, and my offense did their thing, and I'm happy with that because with my 0 pitching build, I was only hoping to hang in pitching categories, which I did, and dominate in offensive, which I wouldn't call this domination, but it's what I want to see is winning the offensive categories on a weekly basis. And my player of the week is Elly De La Cruz. 2 home runs, 4 stolen bases, got on base at a 565 clip. This man is terrorizing baseball right now, and I couldn't be happier about it. I drafted him a little high, first pick of the 3rd round, but I was a believer, and he's helping me continue to believe. I'm nicknaming him from here on out Elly De La Truth, because he is of the truth. Your player of the week this week, I'm going to have to go with Cal Raleigh, catcher. 3 home runs, 519 OBP, 7 RBI. Cal Raleigh coming off of a 30 home run year, looks like he wants to do it again. I don't know how everyone slept on him, but what a great catcher to have on your team. I know you lost the game technically, but since I consider this more of a tie, we're both going to get a letdown of the week. And yours is O'Neal Cruz, 2 for 21. That hurts. He's not playing very well to start the year, but I expect him to fully turn it around. Once again, a player I would completely trade for, but don't do that. But if you do, send him my way. And my letdown of the week has been my letdown of the year so far, Paul Goldschmidt, 179 batting average right now. He didn't do it this week either, 3 for 21. I could have taken Mike Trout there. Mike Trout there. Why was I so scared of the injury thing? Well, that's in the past, but Goldschmidt, you are pissing me off. Get it together. Get it all together, and get your shit together. And that does it for the matchups of the week. I'm still trying to get the hang of the format I want to go with. I like the player of the week idea, the letdown of the week. I'd love to go into more detail, but I also want to keep these videos shorter so you're more interested in them. I know personally that when I see a video is X minutes long, I might just not click on it. I want things snappy. I want the information quick. So we're going to tidy this up over the next few weeks. I hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed making it. And I look forward to doing next week's even more because I plan on being even more prepared with more fun stuff to add to it. And going to get some better video editing going so that way we can add some GIFs or GIFs or whatever the kids call them these days, memes or memes. Yeah, no one calls it that. But in the meantime, let's have a great week again, guys. And don't be thinking too much about that football draft coming up. We still got baseball games to win. And you know what we do here. Send me a trade.